Greetings from Dystopia, episode 125. Man, it's hot. HAWT, hot. 92 right now. When I looked a little while ago, the feels like was at 101. Yeah, that's a good measurement. It is really hot. I walked out the door and it was just like, just sucks the breath right out of you. It's funny how that happens on the two extremes, right? Real hot, real cold. It's that initial shock to the system. It's 78 in the house, and I walked out the door and grabbed something in the van that I needed to bring back inside. And I walked back in the door. Barbecue sign. Anyways, walked back in the door and it was cold. It felt cold. So when 78 feels cold, you know it's hot outside. But yeah, we're going to head out to the creek here and just see what it looks like down in there. If the water's too warm or it's too warm down in the creek, I'll figure out something else to do today. I don't like punishing fish when it's too hot. Think about it with trout, in cold water trout. You don't want to really be fishing for them when it's over. The water temp is over. I don't know what most people say. To me, when it's 60 degrees water temp, then it's too hot to be beating up on trout. The water temp is too hot because you're going to put them into a shock to their system. You're going to bring them out of that and stick them back in. It's too risky for the trout. So, my opinion. I don't know what the actual basis in fact is temperature, but it seems to me it's around 60. That's the way I was taught. Above 60 degree water, it's too warm to fish for trout. I kind of put the same into creeks. If it's above 70, 75, it's too warm to be fishing for the fish. Again, I'm out to have fun, not to kill the fish. There was a fish handling comment yesterday about me chucking the sunfish back in the water. Arguably, that's a fair point, and it is something I'm conscious of. I don't think much of it with small fish, small sunfish, even chubs. They are such a prolific breeder, and I know it's not the right mentality, I'll say that. But yeah, I do occasionally chunk them back in, and it's something I shouldn't do. I never do that with trout. In fact, I kind of love on trout before I put them back in the water. Because I know that trout are extremely sensitive. But like I said, I think chubs would probably survive a nuclear bomb. Same thing with sunfish. But yeah, it's a fair point. 4 comments on the food chain fishing challenge, including a better name, FC Squared. So I'll have to think about that one. It's actually pretty clever. One of them was kind of a gag. He's like, "Oh, I know exactly how I'm going to catch my bait. I'll take my net," and just about at that time in the video yesterday, I put across the bottom about not using nets. Yeah, come on. Hook caught. I don't care if you got bait or a fly. It has to be caught on a hook. You can net the fish when you get to the bigger fish, but yeah, let's be real here. Again, the follow-up was, is this for children? Absolutely. I don't mind. I want it. If you're an angler, if you even fish a little bit, include your kids. Teach your children how to fish. I've commented on that before in videos. My dad was not a fisherman, but he got a cane pole, he got worms, he taught us how to fish. Was it the right way? I don't know. I was 5, maybe 4. I don't remember how old I was the first time I went fishing with Dad, but I do remember where it was. I do remember the fish. It was on the Illinois River Road somewhere around Savannah, Illinois, and the first fish was a sunfish. I still remember the red chest and how red chest, orange right here. I remember how orange the tips of the fins were. He had the elongated head, so it's a river sunfish. I laugh at that because there's green sunfish, which are the river style. Their head is more akin to somewhere between a bass and a rock bass. And then you have sunfish, which I consider conventional panfish. In other words, they're more bluegill than green sunfish. I've never actually bothered to look at the difference, but when you look at the two fish side by side, you can tell there's a difference. And that's how I differentiate them. I say green sunfish, that's the river sunfish. And then regular sunfish is also in rivers, but more so in creeks and ponds. I'm sure somebody probably got a degree in ichthyology and they'll correct me, but that's kind of how I see it from my point, and that's somewhat backed up in Peterson's. Anyway, let's see. The other questions were, so the tournament, would it be in Illinois? No, it'll be, like I said, a virtual tournament. If you live in Wisconsin, you can fish in Wisconsin. We just have to figure out a way to photograph time and date stamp photos to make sure it's kept legit. Most phones nowadays are capable of time stamping, so we'll take a look at that and make sure that that works out. If not, we'll have an entry card, something that you can print just to make it legit so that there's no cheating. Not that I think most people would cheat, but I don't want other people thinking, hey, I got cheated. It always happens in tournaments. I know, believe me. I've fished a couple tournaments over the last 5 years, and a couple of those tournaments I'm still suspect of, but thankfully it's none of them in the driftless. But yeah. So, that's it. I'll see you guys down here at the creek and we'll see what's going on. Alright, we're here. I'm going to grab a rod, my small pack, make sure I got a bottle of water in there. And then we'll walk down to the creek and take a look. In the parking lot, it is really hot, so we'll go see what it looks like. Gotta keep looking there. Look at the lens. Alright guys, see you in a bit. Well, the water's very still, but I see plenty of chubs. Got a big boy hanging right down here. He's probably about 8 to 9. I'm going to make a cast at him and then go get out of the sun. Smart little bastard. I hooked into him. Well, I don't know if it's smart or just dumb luck, but I hooked into him and he headed straight into the shadows, which meant he took my line right through a tree that's floating above, that's above the creek. So now I got to tie on a new fly. Oops. That was a smart move on that Chubb's part. I'm sure it was just dumb luck, but I hooked into him. He headed straight for the shade line, which put a tree between me and him. So yeah, he was right down here in the shadow. And when he hit the fly, he went straight through this shrub right here. And I mean, he pulled my line way up in all the branches and everything. So he broke off. All right. Larry. Catbirds. Let's get you guys adjusted a little bit here. Let's see if we can get back out there. Dropped one. Well, I didn't drop him. He flipped off. Let's see if I can get down here to him. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see them. Sit here and look for a minute. I keep seeing a big boy in here too, but it looks like a younger largemouth bass. Utterly dejected. Can you see me? Caught one chub, probably about 6 inches, nothing huge. But yeah, it is hot out here, too hot. I'm hoping the holes in the back now work well enough for audio. Checking other spots down here. Getting bombarded by deer flies. There is something swimming down there, but I can't tell what it is. Wow. It's too stinking hot. Well, it's not where I wanted it to go, but that'll work. Yeah, it's really hot out there. 94 right now, according to my thermometer. I just now got it back down to 89 in the van with the AC blowing. Caught 2 chubs, dropped 1. Didn't have the GoPro on, forgot to turn it back on. One time. The other time, it was in photo mode, so I took a picture of the trees. Yeah. You know it's hot for me when I say it's too hot to fish. I'm going to eat my lunch. Talk to you in a bit. I saw plenty of boats out on the river. Inflatables and kayaks. Yay, nobody's here. You know, I wish people wouldn't just
was able to manipulate
throw their garbage on the ground. Maybe the township needs to put a garbage can out here. Alright, let me walk up on the bridge, see what I can see. Might do a time lapse of the clouds. There's some pretty clouds to the south. I just did a hyperlapse on the way here, so yeah, let's go take a look. Alright, so I got a time lapse done. Not too sure about the color shading. Just about the time I started, got some heavier clouds to the north of me, so it made the river really dark. So I'll have to see how that one comes out. I'll put it up no matter what, but probably won't be the best time lapse as far as seeing the foreground. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Be good, be well, wear a mask, be safe. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. Have a good one.